Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of all ages, welcome back to the College Football Nightcap here on X, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you get College Football Nightcap. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all. We have a show for you, but before we begin, guys, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe for more from us here at the College Football Nightcap. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you give us a follow on X at Lucas_Hill23 at Southern Charm SP. It's a great day to get after it. We got coaching hires. We got player movements. We got a bowl game to predict. The Celebration Bowl. The first of the bowl games will be played this weekend. We're going to give our predictions about what could potentially happen. And we're going to give everything for the best insight for all of you. So we got a lot to talk about. Can't wait to get it started. So let's go ahead and let's cover a few bowl games that'll be happening this weekend. Let's start off with the Celebration Bowl. South Carolina State going up against none other than the Jackson State Tigers. This is an interesting football game to me because of what JSU has done ever since losing a guy like Coach Prime. It's hard to replace that much talent that you lost from that 1 year and from the years that he was there. But TC Taylor has done a great job taking over. Guy has been at JSU for the last 3 or 4, has been there since 2019. Done a great job overall, just leading that team back to where they need to be. They absolutely deserve everything of what's going on with them. They are at an all-time high right now for their program. It's really a good team. As much as people want to hate on them and as much as people want to diss on their program, they haven't really been in the national media ever since Prime left. But guys, JSU is still JSU. They're still a SWAC title contender. That's what they showed this past weekend. They still showed why they can still own the East in the SWAC. That's what they've been so dominant in showing this year. Lone loss was to Grambling State. And by the way, guys, watch out for Grambling State in the future. Yeah, they finished 5-7 this year with Mickey Joseph in their first year. Guys, there's a lot to look forward to. Yes, you lost a guy like Eric Dooley. Look, Eric Dooley had a lot of crap at Southern. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he got let go is because of his inability to win. And look, I love Eric Dooley. I have a lot of respect for a guy like that. Really, I do. As much as people want to say that. And despite everything that they've had to do, having to replace a guy like Dawson Odoms, who ended up at North Pole State, and I think Dawson Odoms actually got fired from his job at North Folk. They just finished up a 4-8 record, which absolutely sucks. But yeah, he was relieved of their duties from what we're getting reports from a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there's a lot coming from that, and having to replace a guy like that, it's hard. Make no mistake about it. It's very hard to do. But from what Southern has done in their first season with a guy like Terrence Graves going to a SWAC title, there's no doubt in my mind he absolutely deserves Coach of the Year in the SWAC. So does TC Taylor. I think it's going to be a debate between them. You keep a guy that was in-house, that has been around since the Eric Dooley era. And guys, look, Eric Dooley is a legendary coach at Southern. Long-time assistant coach from 97 to 2010. Long time head coach. Absolutely a long-time head coach there. Have a lot of respect for him and from what he did in the Pete Richardson era as well, when he won 5 black national championships. But guys, this is a brand new era. I do believe that JSU is there. When you talk about 18 plus conference title guys, and you talk about the amount of dues that they have, dude, this is a legit roster. This is a team that you need to look out for. So, here we go. Breaking news, Lucas Hill is in the playoff. You're funny. Thoughts on Belichick to UNC? We're going to get to that later on in the show, Chase, but I think give me the SWAC champs. Give me JSU to win this one. There's too much tradition there. There's too many dudes on both sides of the ball that are just so dominant. And so I think I think JSU takes this one easily. I think they do. I think they have a lot of offensive firepower. And despite going up against a good defense that Southern had, dude, there's no way that a team like South Carolina State is going to be able to hang with JSU. Give me the Tigers in this one, bringing back their first black national championship since 1996. Going forward, we got Western Michigan going up against South Alabama. South, let me tell you there's something about South Alabama, and I wish that Scout was in here because I would have loved for him to I can't wait for him to get his opinion on this because, look, there's a lot that needs to say on this. So, when you talk about JSU, or not JSU, we're on something else. Look, when I talk about a team like South Alabama, look, this is a team that just was so inconsistent this year. And look, that might be because of the quality of team that they played with Major Applewhite. Started off the year 2-2. Got big wins against App State and Northwestern State. App State had to fire their coach, Sean Clark. They hire a guy like Dowell Loggins, who they thought was going to be the guy. And look, Sean Clark showed some sorts of potential. Got to 4 bowl games or 3 bowl games. Obviously, in 2020 when they went 9-3. And then, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened with that team down the stretch. Lost a lot of deuce entry. I still believe that a guy like Gio Paez, or not Gio Paez, but whoever the quarterback is for South Alabama, I really have a lot of faith in him. Gio Lopez, that's what I'm saying. Gio Lopez is the ultimate option Q. Gio Lopez is a dog. I am so glad that you joined, by the way, because we're talking South and we're talking Western Michigan in the Army Bowl or whatever it's called this weekend.
In my bowl,
yeah, your bowl game
that I'm being treated like a normal person at. Don't even get me started with that.
They denied you credentials?
They denied me credentials.
Why? What organization did you say you were with? SCS?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking dude, that's stupid.
Look, I'll get it taken care of. It's the same person that enables the FCS kickoff, and I'm like, I really need to meet this person, I guess. But one of my I emailed them because it gave me the email whenever it denied. It was like, hey, if you have any questions, email this. But I emailed him with no response. So
right.
But no harm, no foul. I'm really not the most notable. Like there's some big time players. My only thing is I know people that did get approved. And they have very similar pages and content, so I'm like, it does not make sense to me.
So I was talking about South and Western Michigan for this weekend. So, I mean, first of all, it sucks that you got approved. And did you ever reach out to the guy that handles all that?
I did, bro. Like I literally did.
So, did he ever respond?
I, I don't like he didn't respond to my email, so
I'd give it another week. I just applied for the Ventures Bowl and
yeah.
the Birmingham Bowl for this week for the next 2 weekends. So I don't know if I'm going to get approved for that just because I'm from the state of Louisiana and I don't really cover these teams, but we'll see.
Well, see,
Hope
it could be you could get approved for that because like I will say one of the things that one of the guys that did get approved has on me is that he's based out of Mobile, but he also has like no South content. So I don't know. Ugh, it was interesting.
no, but let's go ahead and let's talk about Western Michigan and South Alabama. Look, South Alabama's got one of the best option games that I've seen. I know that they've shown their ability to break out, especially on offense, but it's about how can you be consistent on a daily basis
Yeah.
against teams like that. Look, you've shown that you can be dominant on offense. You went to Cajun Field and you went up 24-9 against a good
Yeah.
UL team that at one point a few analysts said that this could be a dark horse for a possible CFP berth. That obviously didn't become the case when they lost to South and then Marshall in the Sun Belt title. But apart from that, you really saw just the inconsistencies that South had. You get off to a
Yeah.
2-4 start. You lose a tight one to Arkansas State, lose a tight one to Ohio, and then you get blown out by LSU and North Texas. But you've shown signs of promise. So, I mean, what's the biggest thing that we need to look out for this weekend going up against Western Michigan?
Um, I think the biggest thing is can you get the run game going early? Can you get Gio Lopez going early, right? I think the biggest part about it all is that you need to get the run game because once you get the run game, Gio has a pretty good play action, like they have good concepts and everything. But it all starts with can you run the football? And on the other side, Western Michigan, they've been playing MAC football all year. I'm not saying that the MAC football is bad, but it's just different, right? But I will say the only thing that would probably be different for them, like for South Alabama going into this, is that all of a sudden you're facing a team that is used to ground and pound through the running back, but I'm not sure how many of those MAC running games are going through the quarterback itself. So if you can get a good running game going early, I know Fluff is out or whatever, Fluff's already gone. So that's
Fluff's in
not
the
a
portal already, isn't he?
what? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But I'm saying
figured
like
so.
that's not a potential thing. But yeah, but it's all eh, for me, I would say that the run game, if you told me the run game score line, I would be able to tell you what the or like the stat line of the run game, I'd be able to tell you how the game went.
Mm. I mean, it's been a really frustrating season for South. Just knowing that they've had so many opportunities to win so many games, but you finally get to a bowl game, you finally get over that hump after a lot of just inconsistency. You finally get to back-to-back bowl games. Having to replace a guy like Kane Womack, it's hard. You bring in Major Applewhite. I don't think he's Sun Belt Coach of the Year. I would definitely think he's a finalist for it, though, just knowing what he had to replace. But I will say,
Yeah,
I think a guy, either Charles Huff or Mike DeSormo, probably your two likelihood for Coach of the Year. It probably will go to Coach Huff, depending on what they decide to do with that. But dude,
yeah.
it's been an odd season in the Sun Belt. Let me just tell you.
For sure. And
And I'm
yeah,
sure.
I think the game will be good though. I know like I saw like CF Budge and a few other people who are ranking all the games put out like near dead last. So I'm like, dude, like this is a good game, especially when you consider how some of these teams are just completely struck when it comes to what do you call it? Like the transfer portal and everything.
And look,
So
Western Michigan kept it close with Wisconsin in the first game of the season. It was 28-14. And they played Marshall tough too. I mean, you're talking about their first 3 games. You play Wisconsin, you play at the Horseshoe at Ohio State, and then you play at Marshall. And you ended up keeping it close in 2 of those games. That's
yeah.
fairly impressive. So you're very close to potentially being a 7 or 8 win team is Western Michigan, and maybe even being in a better bowl game than they are right now in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. They would
Yeah.
probably be in either the Bahamas, or they'll probably still be in Montgomery, or they'd be in they'd be in, I think, Mobile for the Ventures Bowl. At least that's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So
So it's
it's
it's all interesting though.
yeah, it's been an odd season for sure. I
Yeah.
think that there's a lot that still hasn't really been developed yet. I still think that you have a lot of missing pieces that you really have to get situated, especially in the Sun Belt. If you want to contend for if you want to be able to contend for a CFP, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it all starts with the individual schools too. I think with all the moves that were made throughout the Sun Belt, all the different firings and hirings throughout that, it was interesting to say the least. But that's just another day in the Sun Belt. So, App State just hired Dowell Loggins, by the way. Loggins was the OC at South Carolina. Guy has a pretty impressive resume as a signal caller. I know that there was a lot of people that had their ups and downs with Loggins, especially in South Carolina. And you know, here's the guy that brings a lot of NFL experience with him. But is it good experience? Longtime offensive coordinator, literally 5 years into his coaching career. Boom, he's the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator for 2 years. Then he goes to Cleveland, quarterback coach for Cleveland, Chicago, until he gets elevated to OC. Goes to Miami, goes to be the OC. Jets hire him as the OC. First time he's in the college ranks is 2021. So ends up with Arkansas, gets hired at South Carolina. It was, dude. I've talked to a couple of guys that were in South Carolina. They say it was very much so up and down with him. You know, there would be times where play calls would be made, and it would be, okay, what are you doing? You're scratching your head. But look at what he's done this past year with Lenore Sellers. I think he can do the same thing with this App State offense that has really been lacking recently. I think they've lacked an identity majority of the season, but I think this is the year that they finally get something like that with a guy like Dowell Loggins coming in as their new head coach at App State.
Hello?
Hey, you got me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was scary for a minute. I thought we lost you for a minute.
No, you're good.
Why did somebody just send me their email and phone number? But all right, cool. Good stuff. Good stuff, bro. All right. Cool. Um we had a big day in college football the last week, Scout. We really did. I mean, Bill Belichick, the 400-page freaking Bible that they finally agreed to. It's official. Belichick is the new head coach there. What is your initial reaction to it?
I kind of like it honestly. I think it's good overall. I don't think it's a bad thing for certain. Um, But yeah, but it was I think honestly it'll be good for all the parties involved, right? Um, so who knows?
Dude, I went on freaking Texas Sports Unfiltered today. Cole Thompson went on a huge freaking rant, like you wouldn't believe. It was
Why?
ridiculous, bro. I'll play part of the clip that he went off on if I can find the audio clip. Dude, he went on about this for like shoot, dude, maybe 20 minutes or so. But no, man, it was crazy. Just seeing all that, bro. That it was funny though to me. Just just hearing him, bro. The comment section was going off on him just because of his take on everything.
Yeah.
Hey man, that dude, our strategy with just typing in keywords for our stuff has been working like a freaking charm.
Yeah. That's how we get them. That's how we get them. And we
Yeah,
will talk about literally every single thing I pointed out there. That's not just bait. That is like for real. Bowl season.
IS4S Bowl. What does that mean?
That's what they call the Salute the Veterans Bowl.
Really? I had no
Yes.
idea.
Sponsored by IS4S.
IS4S. How about that? How about that, man? I mean, never knew any of that was a thing, but I'm trying to pull it up on the Texas Sports Unfiltered thing. Honestly, I'm not really worried about copyright, knowing that we're on YouTube. Or, well, we are, but we're not really to the point where we can get all of our stuff out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it really doesn't bother me as much. So
Yeah.
it's not really that big of a deal. Shut up. YouTube's interesting. I'll just say that. But no, freaking Cole went off for a minute. And this was the thing that all right, finally, got it pulled up. So if you guys don't know, I usually go on Texas Sports Unfiltered just whenever I can. And I talk with Cole Thompson.
You're not selling me Bill Belichick as a 17-year-old. Because here's the thing. Bill Belichick, as you brought up in his last few years, couldn't win that much. Won 14 games. In his last 2 years, he also hired his buddies. He hired Bill O'Brien as his offense coordinator in an outdated offense that doesn't work in the NFL anymore. He didn't make any moves at the defensive for the defense coordinator position. Instead, he brought back Matt Patricia, had him work on the offensive line. Had him work on the offensive line, so different side of the ball. Joe Judge work on the defensive line, different side of the ball. And he also hired his son, Steve, to be the linebackers coach. It was all about him. It's an ego thing. And so now in the NFL, anybody that was going to bring him on in, anybody who was going to have him be the next head coach in waiting, he was also going to be the GM. He was going to have all the decisions made. He was going to be the person that had to be in charge of everything because that's what he did when he was in Foxborough. And you can't do that in the NFL, but you can in college.
So, yeah, that was basically just about it. But no, dude, I mean, this is what we've come down to is that he didn't like it. Yeah. He didn't like the fact that they were hiring that guy. They weren't hiring a John Summerall or anybody like that. Look, I have no ill will towards that, but let's just be honest. Bill Belichick is a far better coach right now. And yes, the guy may have some struggles relating to the college game. They may have struggles relating to what we see in college, in selling a kid as a 17-year-old or as 18-year-old coming out of high school, especially with an NIL package. But the fact of the matter is, this guy is the right guy for the job. You may disagree with me. You may say I'm a hypocrite. But guys, that's the truth. The guy can flat out coach. and the guy can flat out sell you. Doesn't matter if you don't like it, how he does it. The fact of the matter is the guy has a resume behind him, and the guy has the will to win.
Agreed.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't really care whether they like him or not. The fact of the matter is the guy wins. That's all that should matter. So, guys, let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. Also, hit up the hotline, 601-980-1621. About to load up the spaces, honestly, dude. I might as well just go ahead and load up the spaces. Let's get some things rolling in. You know what I mean? Gonna go ahead and roll up these spaces. Like, might as well, bruh.
We pulling up. We pop out in your party. We were the gang.
That is crazy.
I will say the what do you call it? The ratio that I'm getting off my views is not nearly as much as it was beforehand.
What you mean?
Like it was like I think it counted like every view as a video view.
Yeah,
last time.
I don't know. You know, with stuff like that, you know, it's kind of weird just knowing it. By the way, guys, we're gonna go ahead and record the space, and I mean, because we gotta make sure we if y'all miss anything, guys, then y'all can go back and check them out. You know what I mean? See, Scout knows.
Thursday. Oh, hold on.
There you are. How do I make you as co-host? There we go.
Hey, let me oh, there you go.
I got you. There you go. You're good. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because last time we tried the spaces, we ended up not really getting any feed from the spaces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up sharing my screen. I'm gonna show the spaces, and then yeah, we're gonna see if we can get audio from there. See if that kind of works any, you know, wouldn't hurt. So, I mean, it makes sense, I think, at least, but wouldn't hurt to give it a shot every now and then. So, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll do a little test trial, see if it does work. We'll see. All right. So, do you have me coming through your feed?
Yes, I do. I do.
All right, cool. So, we don't really have to mute our mics because last time I tried it, it really wasn't a big deal. So, as long as we can get feed from here, we're good. So,
Okay.
we should be just okay. I think I can remove. Can I remove the audio, or can I just remove the screen? But like, will it affect the audio? Scout.
Unsure.
Okay. Whoops. All right. trying to see if that works anything. Okay, we got a listener going in. But let's go ahead and let's keep on.
Hey, Coach Hollow. Oh wait, that was Coach Hollow.
Who that was?
Coach Hollow. He's a coach at Carver in Montgomery. Hold up.
All right, I just deleted the. My bad. I just accidentally shut down the Instagram live, but hey, it's all right. It's all good. Actually, I don't think it really affected anything. I just shut it down, honestly.
From the thing.
Home Depot Coach of the Year. Just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Cignetti won Coach of the Year. So congratulations to him. The guy deserves it, rightfully so. But I mean, that was impressive. I mean, just overall with what he's been able to do. I mean, you know his mantra: just wins. That's all he has to do. Is win.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Scout, I looked on the Instagram feed. I can get your voice now, so we should be okay. Let me double check on the YouTube, see if we can't get some feed going on there. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. We'll see. I should, but if not, hey, I mean, it is what it is. But guys, we still have a lot to talk about today. I'm going to give you a list of my top 5 transfer quarterbacks. I got number 5, Darian Mensah. Number 4, Luke Crummenhook.
Number 5.
Listen. Miller Moss at number 3, Malik Murphy at 2, and Fernando Mendoza at number 1. Promise you that, dude.
Number 5 is crazy.
That's fine. But, I mean, hey, the dude's still going to be a dog. The dude is absolutely a dog. No question about it. I'm not hating on the guy, but I will just say there's a couple more that are better than him right now. I'm not saying he won't get overtaken, but hey, you never know. Things change, things happen. So,
Ugh.
What?
Nothing. I'm just looking at stuff right now.
Okay, we're good. I got your feed through the spaces, so we're good. We can hear audio good through there, so we are just fine. Thank the Lord. Because if I had to deal with the crap like we did last time, bruh, if I'd have known, we would have had a much better stream, and we would have been able to hear the voices coming on through the through the spaces. Like we would have had a lot more success. So. Tell you what, Scout. I mean, this algorithm, we're going to break this algorithm and we're going to get some viewers. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
That's what you got to do.
I think Josh Pate had the most that I've seen, though. He had like 6.6 thousand. That's like the most I've seen other than like Newsmax or something like that.
On a space?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Quite interesting. You ever heard of Buddy Garrity?
Bloody Garrity?
Buddy, Buddy Garrity.
Negative.
He was I'm just picking with you. He was a booster on Friday Night Lights. He was good. He's funny. But the guy could sell you a freaking pencil like you would not freaking believe. Dude was good at it too. I mean, the guy was an absolute legend. Guys, if you are just joining us, by the way, got the link down in my bio. One of the first comments that I have. I'm gonna go ahead and pin it. See if you guys can take a look at it. Plus, we got the spaces load up. You know what I mean? We got to have them things up on there. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Make sure you guys join up if you want to be a part of the show, or just join in the spaces down below. Talk some college ball. Like, you know what I mean? Might as well. What you got to lose? It's not like we're Alex Jones, so. Anyways. Wow. Dude, RG3's had a very, very interesting career so far. So in August, he got laid off by ESPN. In September, his dog got diagnosed with cancer. The very next month, he found out that his cancer diagnosis was false positive. November, he got multiple deals for his podcast, RG Out of Pocket with RG3. And then he got hired by Netflix for their NFL Christmas Day games. I know you saw it. I saw you commented on it. Just a great dude. The guy was an unbelievable guy. But from what I've heard, a lot of people don't like him for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Several people in media don't like him too because of certain things he does, but I don't get it. Like, it's more like people call him egotistical at times, but I'm like, dude, like literally a good chunk of people in this field are egotistical.
Have you seen Stephen A. Smith? Dude, that's the definition of egotistical. It's ridiculous how bad it is.
Yeah. So.
But here's the thing with the media. Majority of the people that are there have a huge freaking ego about themselves, and then they don't say anything when it comes to that. But when it comes to a guy like RG3, and you know his background, the guy's Christian, the guy legitimately comes off as a good guy. But unfortunately, they don't report on that. They don't. And it sucks because of that.
Also, I think there's a lot of people that would rather report on the negative than the positive. So, like I said, I think he's a good guy. I think he's well-intentioned. I think people just have bad opinions about him for some reason. So.
All right, let's continue on. Rich Rodriguez, it was reported today, he is officially becoming the new head coach of the West Virginia Mountaineers. I saw the news earlier this morning whenever I was at the gym. Scout, we knew this was coming. We knew that this was going to happen for a week. I was actually one of the first ones that kind of knew it was going to happen. We called it last week. We knew it was going to happen. Yeah. Thoughts about Rich Rod going to Morgantown now that it's official, and where does Jack State go?
I don't know for certain, but I think that they I don't even know what the proper term is, but I think Jack State's fine. I don't know where West Virginia is exactly. So.
West Virginia is in a peculiar position, knowing that they just fired Neil Brown and how bad he performed.
Yeah. See, I'm high on Neil too, though. So like that's a weird thing with like me is like I was high on Neil anyway.
Look,
so then
Neil,
like to say,
I think a lot of people were high on Neil Brown at the end of last year with the amount of production you were returning and the type of dudes that you had from the portal. But the problem of the matter of that is that it was just a bad combination. Hey man, we got trouble in this freaking space already. Guess who's back? It's none other than Hunter.
oh my god,
Hunter, Hunter, welcome to Thursday's editions of What the Actual WTF Thursday here on College Football Nightcap. Hey, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, bro.
Hey there, fellas. Honored to be here.
Should be
honored.
Should be honored to be here.
I'm sober this time, so
Yeah, good job, Hunter. Do you remember what happened on Monday?
Oh, buddy, we got my buddy Clean Scales in here.
God.
Yeah, no, I remember what happened on Monday. I was very adamant about my conspiracy theories. I met my longtime friend, future best man at my wedding, Clint. His name was Clint, right?
I don't know. What was his
Chris?
name, Scout?
No, not Scout.
No.
What was his name?
The Texas A&M fella, nice guy.
I don't know.
Let me check my mentions. Chris Kamatsu.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a patriot.
You know who we're missing, Scout?
Who?
We need freaking Mr. Saturday Night in here.
I'll shoot him a DM. I'll get him in here.
I know Mr. Saturday Night's in another space right now. I saw him. He's in
You follow him? That's crazy.
Huh?
I
was like, you follow him? That's crazy.
Yeah, I followed him. Why?
It's
a legend.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, good times. Good times. I got really drunk last night, so I decided against it tonight.
Dude, it was a freaking great night. Monday.
Last night? Monday? Oh, yeah.
Monday was historic. I mean, over 1,000 people viewed our episode. I mean, we're high as a kite right now. We got 78 people in here right now. I don't know how many are concurrent, but yeah, man, it's been wild. It's been
Lucas,
wild.
I'm proud of you. You're welcome, but I'm proud of you.
I know you are. I I can tell.
Oh, man. You know what? I'll have a beer. Do I have beer?
Beer.
I think my fridge might be sober now too. I got a little wild on Wednesday. I got a Fresco. That's what I got.
Hey,
I'll pop a Fresco.
Frescos are mid, bruh.
Yeah, Lucas, I'm gonna midly shoot you if you ever talk shit on Fresco again.
I will crap on Fresco whenever I want.
Dude, Fresco's goated.
I'll be back in the space. Hold on, I just left it.
How? Why did you leave it?
Oh,
dude,
he was sick of it.
Oh crap! Now
he was sick of the Fresco slander. I understand.
I don't care, dude. Fresco's mid. Like Fresco's just one of those drinks that you only drink in like New York City or something like that. Like if you're
Lucas, that's it.
If you're high end or something like that.
No, I can buy it at the Walmart.
I know
it was on sale at the Walmart. Matter of fact, that's the only reason I bought it. And it was a good decision. I think it might be working its way in my rotation. DP zero sugar and Fresco.
Oh gosh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
I don't know how that's bad, Lucas.
Eh. I mean, hey, you can't. It's concerning. I'll say that. That McDonald's would even sell Fresco.
So what do we? No, at the Walmart,
Or
brother.
did I say Walmart? I thought I said Walmart.
You said McDonald's.
Oh, I said McDonald's. My bad.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Is that fries?
What's
Yep.
going on?
Fries.
What's up, man?
So I'm not sure if you can hear my lisp, but I got my tooth pulled today.
Oh Lord.
Anyways, I wanted to ask, what you think of UNC getting a Chapel Bill?
Chapel Bill.
I love it. I love it. I'll say this, dude. Bill's gonna have to treat this one like a business. I mean, the only
Yep.
way that North Carolina is going to be any sort of relevant in the ACC is if they adjust to what college football is becoming more and more like the NFL. It's not like you can sell them a academic scholarship now and there where they can face further their academic careers as well as how much they can play.
Let me say this is that they are implementing something. They got the GM, like a GM that's doing that part. So I think what Bill is going to be doing is he's just going to kind of handle
Michael Lombardi, I
the
think, is the
coaching.
guy that's going to be the GM there.
Yeah, and it'll be weird because I don't know how they're going to be recruiting. I mean, I know UNC has a good booster base, but I don't know if they can, put something out there. So Bill's going to have to get on the recruiting trail.
Well,
I don't think he really wants to do that, and I'm not sure he'll be able to connect with kids that way.
Oh, hell no.
Bryce, they bumped up their NIL from $4 million to $20 million in a day.
Yeah, I mean, they have a huge booster base.
They're going to be paying those kiddos pretty good.
It helps them too because of how successful the basketball program has been. So that's what makes the NIL collective so huge now. Now that football can finally dip their toes in it a little bit, and now that you get a high-profile coach like Bill Belichick in the building, you could definitely be able to spend a bit more money with the NIL pool that's still stored together that these boosters are collecting up. Not to mention that people are still getting paid under the table from outside sources, not in the booster club or not even affiliated with the university.
And if I see, I think something that would be really cool to see is, how the Patriot Way, New England for 15, 18 years, it was a set way of doing things. So I think with this one, with Belichick is he's going to implement something. He's going to implement a way where when he leaves and his son, or when he retires and his son takes over, as they're saying, that way is going to be stuck there for the entire program. I really see them doing really, really well in the next 20 years because of this.
I was on Texas Sports Unfiltered earlier today talking with another media member of mine, and you can probably go look up Texas Sports Unfiltered and get more info on that. But I was talking with him, and we were talking with him, and he completely hated the Bill Belichick move because of that one thing, like you mentioned, his inability to connect with the high school kids. He's not going to do that. I can tell you that. So they're going to. That's why he has that big old freaking Bible that he sent out to UNC, because he wants a long list of scouts that he can have go down to different high schools to go talk to these dudes. That's all of his buddies that are in that inner Belichick circle are going to be doing his dirty work so that Belichick doesn't have to leave the office and he can still wear that slight short sleeve hoodie while he sits on his freaking laptop.
Well, and I think he's 72 years old. Would you want to be doing that shit at 72 years old?
Hell, Nick Saban was doing that shit at 72. You think he cares?
Nick Saban is different, and we all know that.
I mean, but still, Nick Saban had that NFL credibility. Now, no, it wasn't that long, but still, I mean, no matter what your age is, you know that at some point, like you mentioned already, Hunter, you're going to get burnt out from doing it. But at the end of the day, who's really going to run the show for you? That's what Belichick is going to do, is that he's going to let his assistants run all that bull crap, and then he'll deal with the boosters and the ADs and the rest of the BS.
Well, I mean, that's all he really has to do when it comes to recruiting is if they
Yeah, Lucas, take me off camera real quick.
Huh?
Take me off camera real quick.
Okay. Cool.
They get they get one big 5-star. Belichick brings him in, slaps his hand on the table with the fucking fistful of jewelry he's got.
Huh.
The kid's gonna sign. I mean, I think unless you're a stud and you're gonna go start at Georgia or Alabama or Texas, I think it's a pretty convincing argument to slap Super Bowl rings on the table and say, "Yeah, no, I got a couple of these and I got some good connections. I can get you where you need to be.
Right.
You just have to work for it." He's gonna pull some of the grittiest players doing that. You're not gonna see them transfer for them. I mean, you'll have a couple that wash out, obviously, but I think overall UNC's gonna have one of the strongest pipelines to the NFL here in the next 5 years.
That's what you're
Because
going to have, especially in Chapel Hill. I mean, shoot, the basketball team has been doing that. That's basically your stopping ground to go to get you a first-round contract. That's what college football has become, is that this is starting to become a ground for guys to come in, just get their dollars up, develop themselves into an elite prospect when it comes to NFL time, and then go get another bag once you get done using up the money that the school and outside sources have given you with their NIL package.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
If I'm a 5-star coming out of high school, I mean, at 18, it's a little bit harder to get that perspective, being like, oh, it's Bill Belichick. Especially as these kids, like, as they get younger and they didn't really grow up with that Patriots dynasty.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of phase out. And that's the only issue I could really see. Like, you hear about how good Belichick is, and obviously he's a spectacular coach.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how his game translates to purely in a play calling aspect. Curious to see how that translates.
Oh shit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I just see it really working out for UNC. I really do.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then also WVU today got Rich Rodriguez. That was a interesting decision to do.
It was a fun poll. I like that.
Hey, I like Rich Rod. Go back to where you had success. Here's the thing. Why did he leave West Virginia in the first place? Because he wanted the bag. He got offered the better deal at Michigan. That's it. That's ultimately what it was about. So,
I mean, but I mean, coming back, it's the way I look at it, go get your money while you can.
Yeah. I mean,
if you come back and you're a better coach and then you elevate the product higher, if he comes in and just screws the pooch,
right,
then yeah. But I mean, if he can succeed, you want a guy that wants to be there. Like, what's his name? ASU coach. I'm blanking.
Dillingham.
Like, he wants to be in Tempe.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you respect it. And I mean, you can see why they're so, because he believes in that product. He's not a stepping stone.
What about Scott Frost, man?
I feel like we talked about this last week. Is that this whole coaching carousel is quite literally a carousel. It's like dad coming back home with it, but that's what it has become. That's what it's become.
Yeah.
Just waiting for my shot. Middle Tennessee head coach, Hunt Chad.
Who?
It's gonna be great. Me.
Oh God.
They're gonna bring me up, call some plays.
Oh, buddy. What would you be, OC or DC?
Oh man, I'm running the air raid. Give me the OC position.
Buddy.
I'm bringing back the
Buddy
Rick
running the
Special
air
offense.
raid?
That's the only
That
thing
is
about that
great.
guy.
Nah. Bring back the wing T.
The wing tees. That's elite. The air raid was fun. It got ran at Murfreesboro for a long time.
Jeez, dude. Houston ran the piss out the air raid like crazy.
The air raid's sick. It's such a fun offense.
It was.
When it doesn't work, it's incredibly frustrating.
The problem with the air raid is that you have to deal with the lack of a run game. That's the thing with the air raid. Unless you get a guy like a Marshall Faulk, the air raid isn't going to work.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, you have to set a tone, and it's hard to set the tone through the air unless you, break off just, we'll say 1 in 30, odd plays. That didn't make sense. Just very, very low percentage plays to build up tempo. It's not consistent enough. Like run game, you set the tone early, and then it's hard. It's tough.
I don't know where Southern Charm went. It's been a while since he went there. He told me to take him off camera. I don't know where he went from there, but
he might have been side job we were talking about.
Yeah, man.
I'm not sure if you were there for that
as well. Keeping up with the show, because since we already have a couple people in our spaces already, appreciate all of you that are in here. Some other big news. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the SWAC and with the Celebration Bowl this weekend, the HBCU national title, as they call it. Huge.
I do enjoy watching.
Huh?
I do enjoy watching that.
Not gonna lie, I will watch the Celebration Bowl. I got a lot of friends that play at JSU. I know these guys. I'm very familiar with them. TC Clark's done a great job at JSU taking over for Coach Prime. I mean, just what he's been able to do in regards to recruiting. I know first year that he took over, a lot of big expectations, especially after losing Prime. But God, what he was able to do, just keeping that locker room together, despite losing a lot of marquee dudes like Shador and Shiloh and obviously Travis Hunter. But it was insane what he was able to do and make that man, or make this team, still a SWAC contender and what they did this year.
I mean, hats off to him. It truly is impressive. I was expecting them to fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Absolutely tank. But, I mean, that's an impressive run at staying at it. Incredibly. I don't really have much insight. I haven't really watched too much Jackson State football, to be frank with you.
I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, I know that we have still a lot of dudes that are around the JSU area that listen into the show. They absolutely love it. Who we got here? Long-haired spread neck, hashtag go dogs. What's going on, man? How are you today, this fine evening? Thank you for tuning into the College Football Nightcap.
Of course. I was just going to chime in to say, even if you're not a big HBCU football guy, at least tune in for the halftime bands, because it's going to be electric.
Dude, Battle of the Bands is going to be fun. We got a comment on Twitter. Channing Ewing says, let's not forget about Army and Marshall playing in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. Yeah, they'll be playing in a few weeks, I think. I don't know if they'll be playing either this week or next week, or not this week. I think they'll be playing in 2 weeks in the Independence Bowl, Marshall and Army. That game, I don't think people are really paying attention to, knowing that Marshall just lost their head coach in Charles Huff, and now that Army comes into this year with a great season, won the American, legendary season with Coach Monken. Tom Monken has done a great job ever since he's come to the Army. I mean, he's just done wonders with that offense, really helping revolutionize that offense, helping Bryson Daly become a contender for possibly American Player of the Year. I don't know if he has won it or not, but I mean, it just knowing what they were able to do this year was so impressive. That's going to be a fun game without question. But guys, want to go back to you. Let's go through a couple questions if you guys have any. I know I've had some people on my Instagram talk about the hiring of Bill Belichick. Dude, the coaching carousel has just been ridiculous this year. It's been really awkward in seeing what has transpired. I thought at the beginning of the year we were going to see a lot of SEC coaches get announced. Dude, the SEC was very gracious this year. I'll say that.
It was fun. It was a very close. It was a close conference. I mean, there's not much to say outside of every team kind of scrapped. I mean, even Mississippi State got in there at the end and kind of showed that, despite their record, they can come together and play some ball.
Yeah.
I think some coaches kind of saved their seasons towards the end that were trending in a down direction. Like, not that they were going to fire Freeze, but he kind of made the season seem a little better than it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, especially with the SEC in general. The SEC shot themselves in the foot of getting 4 teams in on November 23rd when Alabama and Ole Miss lost. Because when those two things happened, it was over with. There was no way in hell that the committee was going to leave a 2-loss SMU team that lost 2 games all year. One was to BYU early in the season, and one was to Clemson in the national title. The 3 games that Bama loses to, you lose to Vandy, you lose to Tennessee, and you lose to Oklahoma. 2 bad losses, Oklahoma and Tennessee. You couldn't have those. Ole Miss, bad losses. Kentucky, who finishes, I think they finished 4-8 or 5-7 this year. You lose to, you lost to LSU, who ended up with 8 wins. Absolutely fell off the face of the earth after the Texas A&M game. And then you lose to, who was it? Florida. That surprised the college football world and won 7 games, and Billy Napier's ass got saved. I have no idea.
I would be curious to see. I don't know if there were betting lines on if Billy Napier got fired preseason.
Dude, it was ridiculous how much the betting lines were. Like that was insane how it was. Hal Carrington 2.0 used to be the 15 bag man. Now I'm just an effing cheap imitation. Don't give a piss about nothing but time. Tweets from outside. I love the bio. Hal, good evening, man. Welcome to the College Football Nightcap. Thanks for joining in.
Thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey, that's what it's all about. We got first-time callers all across the spaces. Guys, really excited for the rest of bowl season. It's going to be fun. I mean, here's what bowl season is really about at the end of the day. It's about setting the tone for next season for a lot of teams, or it's about closing out a chapter on a specific run that teams have. Take a look at what, for example, last year, LSU's at the end of the day. It was about closing a chapter that they had with guys like Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. It sucks that Jaden Daniels didn't play in the bowl game, but at the end of the day, guys, you got to chase it back. And here's I didn't realize, like, why are guys just opting out of the bowl game? It just didn't seem right. And then I remembered what happened and what caused all this to start. Because if you remember back in the 2016 Fiesta Bowl, it was Notre Dame and Ohio State. And there was a guy by the name of Jalen Smith that was there. You guys remember Jalen Smith. Guys, former Dallas Cowboy, Pro Bowler, Butkus Award winner that year, won Independent Defensive Player of the Year, All-American, all around. The guy ends up, I think, shredding his ACL. He tore his ACL and his LCL, ends up blowing his draft stock. The guy was supposed to be a top 10 pick in the draft. And the guy ends up dropping out of the first round into the second round. So it cost them about millions of dollars. It was bad, and that's
you can.
Hey, you know who did that even before Smith was a tight end from Michigan named Jake Butt.
I know. I remember Jake Butt.
Believe they were playing Florida in the Outback Bowl, and he had the exact same situation happen to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't be mad at the kids because they're looking out for their future. I do think there's a certain line where it's like, all right, buddy, like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
If you're like, I'd say mid fifth round and below projected, dude, suit up. Come on.
They're paid quite a bit of money these days.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
I
not
think
like
you're suiting up.
as it stands. Like in that weird pre-NIL kind of, normalcy, as we'll call it. Like there was more of okay, yeah, I get it. Don't blow out your knee in a bowl game that means literally nothing. You're not getting paid anything. But now, I mean, if these kids are floating like, a couple $1,000 extra to go play in a bowl game, sure, why not? I don't care. But they should do it.
I'm conflicted for us between appreciating that our guys want to finish out the season in a quote unquote meaningless game, but also wanting to see the underclassmen and wanting to see, what we're going to look like next year. So, appreciative of the Jalen Milrows of the world that are playing in the game, but kind of wish we could get some reps for the young bucks at QB.
And I feel like there's been kind of more of a trend this year of people not opting out, like Cam Ward, Jalen Milrow. I mean, don't know if he's for sure leaving, but I think Shadur is playing, and I'm sure a lot more. I feel like it's kind of been a little bit of a shift back towards stars playing in bowls.
I hope so.
I will say to go off to watch the underclassmen play. A great example of that was Nico with Tennessee last year. I really think that game set the tone for him this upcoming season. Gave him a little bit of swagger coming in. I mean, he went out in that meaningless bowl game, and it got the fan base behind him. And I think that's huge. Huge, huge, huge.
Agreed.
I mean, especially for a rabid fan base like that. Those people are mongrels, but, neither here nor there.
Yeah, let me ask you guys something since you guys are here. Do any of you are any of y'all familiar with, well, let me ask you this instead. Who's primed to break out during bowl season that nobody's really talking about, whether it be from y'all's respective school, whether it be from another school that you may know? Who's primed for a breakout game that has been waiting in the reins, knowing that specific player is going to skip the bowl game? Who's going to do it? Who's the guy that we need to look out for?
That's a great question, Lucas. And I don't have any insight on my own school because we had it was a 3-win season. Yeah, thank you. I'm very sad to see Amari Kelly leave. I think he could have a breakout year wherever he goes because, that kid's a stud. Absolute beast. I know it kind of veers off your question, but I will yell it from the hills. Somebody better pay that man handsomely.
I'll say this. It's tight. Let me just say that when you think about guys that are primed to break out, I have to look at what Duke has to offer at Q. I mean, you got to, or either that or on the defensive side of the ball. I look at a guy like Grayson Loftus, who unfortunately won't be playing because he's in the portal. So now Duke's down 2 Qs going up against Ole Miss in the Gator Bowl. They're in a bind. So it's tough to decide who could be the dude for Manny Diaz and company because let's just be honest. It's absolutely sucked seeing a guy like that, a guy like Malik Murphy and what he did for that squad And for that school, you finally beat Florida State for the first time in 22 games in ACC play. You did so many things that many people weren't thinking that you could be. Hell, we could be looking at Duke as a win away in overtime from being a potential participant in the CFP. Now, things would have had to go on their way, but at the end of the day, this was a damn good team. This was a damn good team, let me just say. There's no way you could possibly convince me that this was going to be anything like that. No way that you could. See if I can't reconnect.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like a TikTok drop shipping kind of person. It's
Y'all talking about the agent fees that dudes are paying just to have them represent them, or that the school is paying them? That's ridiculous, isn't it? Dude, some of these dudes that are getting agents are like 14, 15, 16 years old. I know a guy that's the number one player in the class of 2027. Dude's about to turn 16 in a little bit. Guy's already got an agent. No, I really don't know about anything about the agent himself. What I will say is that it's still weird for me just knowing that 16, 17-year-olds are having agents in high school football, negotiating NIL deals. Look, that's what we had in 2 years ago with Jane Rashada when he tried signing that $13 million contract. And we saw how that went up in smoke. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Dude, that dude's probably gotten paid per year, or we talking just over the course of his time at Michigan? Dude, well, we know automatically how much he's getting paid with the contract that he signed with the package, but that's not including what he's getting paid under the table, what his incentives are. I mean, there's so much that still has to be deciphered with that we still don't know.
What if Bryce Underwood sucks? Like, eventually these guys are going to stop funding these deals.
Well, that's what I've been saying that about Ole Miss. Like, all the money they've been throwing, and they've had their program's been better than historically has been. But like, for how long is the Grove Collective or whatever going to keep shelling out this money with nothing in return?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're far from the worst example of money poorly spent. I mean, you know, there's a lot worse out. I mean, Florida paid Jaden Rashada. Well, I guess they paid him 0, but they were about to pay him like 8 figures.
Yeah, which is nuts.
And if they had, I mean, he can't see the field at Georgia, and
Yeah.
apparently isn't even a backup, or I don't even think he's third string at Georgia.
I don't. With a guy like Jaden Rashada, I don't think it was really necessary to pay him that type of money, especially if you're not even a top 5 quarterback in your own class. The guy was like the number 6, 7, or 8 Q in the class of 2023.
Was that before they knew they were getting Lagway?
No, that was that. Yeah, that was before they were getting Lagway.
Yeah. Yes, it was. It was before they got Lagway. But like, I don't know how DJ Lagway saw that situation play out and still agreed to come there.
I don't know, dude. That was weird. Just seeing that and seeing all that happen with that, because you knew there was going to be misconceptions and a lot of crap that was going on throughout that room, and especially with signing day, because I think he wanted out of his NLI, didn't he?
Yeah.
Rashada or Lagway?
Rashada.
Well, he went to Arizona State first, right?
No. He committed to Florida first, and then I think he signed too. And then there was something about how he wanted out of it, and then he committed to Arizona State.
And then went to Georgia.
That sounds like a Roquan Smith situation when he signed his NLI to UCLA and didn't end up going there.
Well, Jaden Rashada got to Gainesville and moved in, and then the money never came, and he left. Like,
Right.
he actually moved in and I think enrolled.
And now he's suing them. But is there any written sort of agreement between them, or is this just another one of those situations where it's a he say she say type of deal?
Probably the latter. I mean, probably the latter.
That's what a lot of these are nowadays.
I bet Florida has more money to burn up in lawyer and court fees until the Rashadas get tired of it and are like, we're good.
I mean, athletic wise, Florida's had so much money over the past 20 plus years, 30 plus years of how that booster collective's money growth has just gone blown up, and how much they've been able to make. They can afford lawyers like that for the next 2 or 3 years, however long this case runs out.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk about some transfers recently. Got a couple of I got my top 5 list for the top 5 transfer quarterbacks. Scout had a problem with him. Scout didn't like him. You absolutely hated him.
Sam, dummy.
Okay, so here's my top 5. Number 5, I have Darian Menza. Number 4, I have Luke Cromenhook. Number 3, Miller Moss. 2, Malik Murphy. Number 1, Fernando Mendoza.
How are you ranking the Cromenhook? That's the Florida State kid, right? What is that based off of? Does he have any tape?
Yes, the guy played.
He does have tape.
I wouldn't know. I tuned out on them after Ireland.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I mean, who really did pay attention to Florida State? But I did a deep dive on him. The guy has a lot of talent. I mean, 6'4", 208 pounds. I mean, nothing to shoo at all. The guy's got a lot of talent ahead of him. But the problem is that when you're surrounded by a lack of talent, and when you're surrounded by an offensive system that doesn't fit you, that's going to say something. Because look, Alex Atkins was bad. It was bad.
I noticed there wasn't one name on that list that I think is going to have a spectacular year next year.
Van Buren should be on the list.
Van Buren could be there. I got Stone from SMU. Preston.
Preston Stone's in the portal?
Hey,
Yeah.
Chev. What is Gagliano gonna be the next great Italian at MTSU?
Well, we discussed this. We discussed this on Monday. I have an anti-Italian agenda that I'm pushing with quarterbacks in Murfreesboro. We have a young man from Brentwood who looks incredibly athletic. I think he could be a stud. I mean, I was watching some tape and the dude just drops bombs. He looks like the U.S. government in Baghdad. I mean, fuck, my Zyrtec fell over.
Where are you at, Hunter?
I'm in my house. I keep a little Zyrtec in my backpack. You never know when you could need it.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. Long enough to take the reins, but I mean, I think Big Dick Nick's sticking around. I mean, he's definitely waiting another year.
Yeah.
And if he does, I mean, God bless him. Can't remember his name. Kid from Brentwood. He may already be well developed by that point. I mean, we saw how Nick was.
Interesting.
I think Miller Moss is going to be solid somewhere.
I think Miller Moss could end up. Dude, Miller Moss could end up probably back. I think he still wants to stay along the West Coast.
That's a San Jose State quarterback if I've ever.
Yeah. Ooh,
Is Miller Moss gonna bring Zachariah Branch and Deuce Robinson with him wherever he goes?
Oh Lordy, Deuce Robinson's in the portal too, isn't he?
He is.
I
And
figured
Zach Branch
so.
is teasing it.
He's bluffing for a bag like Nitro did.
I think we're gonna see a lot of kids go back to whatever school that they were in.
Yeah.
Bag bluffing, yes. That's going to be the trend going forward.
I mean, coaches are doing it this year. Kids are going to do it eventually.
Yeah.
So. But no, I did a deep dive on a guy like Luke Cromenhook. I mean, he's big dude, can throw. Guy's an accurate quarterback. But
why have you not done a deep dive on my boy?
He's from Savannah, right?
Who? Cromenhook?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to Benedictine, however you say it. I'm not very smart.
They're a triple option high school, which is hilarious.
Yeah, they run option, right?
Yeah.
Their guy before him was Gariner that went to Auburn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That guy's mid.
Jesus! I didn't realize that FSU's offensive coordinator for the first 3 games used to be one of our old high school used to be a high school coach here in Baton Rouge. Gabe Fertitta. Don't know if y'all have ever heard of him.
Can't say that one's ringing a bell.
He's the OC now at Nichols.
Where did he coach in Baton Rouge?
He was at Catholic High in Baton Rouge. Huh?
Deuce Knight's not bad. I don't know who said Deuce Knight was bad.
Deuce Knight sucks balls.
Why? How?
The fact that
Deuce Knight's level of competition is absolutely terrible, and his footwork is horrible, and his throwing motion looks like Tim Tebow's.
Hey, don't shit on Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was a dog.
Hey, Tim Tebow won the Heisman.
Hey, Tim Tebow is one of my favorite athletes of all
Thank
time.
you.
But if we're going to talk about we're going to talk about his throwing motion here, and you're going to tell me it's good.
I mean, look,
put that one to bed.
His baseball swing was better than his throwing motion.
Oh my God.
That I will say about Tim Tebow. The knock I will have on him is his throwing motion, because it looked like he was throwing a freaking baked potato. I mean, that's how it looked like to me, especially like
it was awful, and he's a lefty, and that double made it look worse.
Hey, don't be hating on lefties.
I'll bet anyone in here $100 that within 24 months Deuce Knight's in the transfer portal.
24 months is an eternity in college football.
Yeah.
He can be in it twice.
No,
you
dude.
can come and find me, and I'll pay up.
Oh my
Have there been any whispers about where Bear Alexander may end up?
Bear Alexander's he's saying that he
EMCC.
may end up at Georgia again.
No way.
No fucking way.
There's no shot.
I'm not shitting you. That's where he's been on a visit there. The guy said he wants to go
He did
back.
go on a visit.
Bear
I don't
Alexander
know if
needs.
that was an official recruiting visit or if he came back to see like buddies.
No, he went on a visit. That's what I've seen on his story. He's posted him in Georgia gear, but hell, that could be a freaking retweet from when
No, he
first-
went.
Bear Alexander needs to go play for Buddy Stevens in Scuba, Mississippi.
That
at
is
EMCC.
crazy. He could do what Sean Washington did this past year.
No Georgia boosters are gonna give him a bag. Like,
No, I mean,
I will say that the guy proved himself that he doesn't want to be there. The guy didn't want to be in Southern Cal because he basically played 4 games and said, bye, gave away the freaking penthouse that he was living in Cali and right next to the beach. He's got a beach house there, and now he wanted to go back and for what? Because he wouldn't get any playing time because he's just not that good.
Grass ain't greener.
You don't want Bear Alexanders on your team.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of how I mean, Raiola might be the one exception. The kid flipped high schools 4 times and fucking, jump commitments 4 times, and he might stay at Nebraska.
Dude, I've never seen anybody with a bigger ego than Dylan Raiola. Like, it's
That kid's
insane.
I know we're being recorded right now, so I'm not going to say any mean words, but
Is this recorded?
Oh, is this one not recorded?
I mean, y'all are live right now. I'm just letting y'all know.
Raiola's little brother is the Beeford quarterback this year.
Is he?
Yeah, they just got smoked by Juju Lewis.
He's a Nebraska commit, but that could.
Oh, he is? I didn't know
that. That might have just been a big bro.
Georgia needs to fix their playoff system. Like, they should not be playing high school football the 3rd week of December.
No, I think it's beautiful. I'm a product of the Georgia high school football system.
Dude, our state
But it's
championship
gotten
for this
worse
weekend.
since you were in high school.
Well, all right, Funk is crazy. We also
At least they don't play it at Georgia State's field anymore. Like 2 years ago, there was monsoon state championship games that were like 8-7 final scores.
already. That's
back in the
What's
Dome,
the
right?
real travesty, Spreadneck, is that they don't play the HSA games in Jordan-Hare and Bryant-Denny anymore. They play them in fucking Birmingham.
Wait, okay. As an opinion of all 3, Jordan-Hare, Birmingham, and Tuscaloosa, Birmingham is a blessing for that game. Like, that was so much nicer than.
You mean geographically?
I mean, in the sense of travel, in the sense of getting in, getting out, like all that kind of stuff. And the biggest thing about Tuscaloosa is by this time of the year, college is winding down or it's out. Like, like college parties or like college food, whatever. So it's like, and these are a bunch of high schoolers. And if you're going out to this high school event, why are you why are you only having bars open and stuff, right? Like that was my issue with Tuscaloosa last year, was the only places that were open late at night to eat were bars and stuff. At least with Birmingham, you get Uptown right there. And Uptown's like the food at Uptown's amazing.
Well, don't you also?
I mean, I hear that. But for the kids, I think playing in the college stadiums is very cool and is a myth that they don't do that anymore. But I mean, Protective Stadium's pretty cool, I guess.
Hey, Scout, speaking of bars in Tuscaloosa, where's Mike Price at nowadays?
Where's your? Oh my god.
Technically, that was in Pensacola.
Where?
To be fair,
Lucas,
hey,
you run up the tab.
I will say, Lucas, or wait, not Lucas, whoever I was talking to about the
high school games.
Yeah, high school games. So Protective, a lot of the coaches said that Protective, the actual facilities that you had access to were better because at both Jordan-Hare and Alabama, they only let like 1 team a year use the home, like the actual home locker room, like because they have extra locker rooms or whatever. So like they would end up using the shitty SEC, like SEC away locker rooms. So
yeah, maybe.
Guys, I'm about to read you off my top 5 transfer running back list, and I think you guys will be a little bit happier than my QB list. 5, I have Terrion Stewart. 4, I have Quentin Joyner. 3, Fluff Bothwell. 2, Wayshawn Parker. Number 1, Ahmad Hardy. Let's just be honest. Ahmad Hardy is the consensus number 1 here.
Yeah.
Some of y'all have
Fluff, Hardy, and Mensa. Imagine being where those kids were, especially Mensa. So Mensa was a what do you call it? A West Coast kid, and he ends up going to Tulane of all places. Like, imagine how you feel walking in on that. Like, oh hey, we let a
Yep. Frank Peasant. Yeah. Buddy played 1 game this year. What the heck was up with him? That's what I'm getting from ESPN. I don't know if he freaking ESPN just was ignorant and doesn't want to update or whatever. I don't know, bro. What games? Okay. Oh shit. Yeah. Well, certainly is a guy's definitely No, he's played in a couple of games. I think he ended up hitting the portal. November 6th is when he did. 1,500 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns in his career. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What's that, Hunter? Oh, yeah. Dude needs to grab another bag wherever he's going. I said that he needs to just go somewhere else and go grab another bag, either in the SEC or something like that, especially to get his draft stock up. Like you would not believe. Guys, that is going to wrap it up for us here on the live show here on College Football Nightcap. Thank you to everybody that commented, that left questions here in the spaces as well. Guys, we will be back on Monday to talk more around the world of college football. It has been a pleasure getting to see you all. Guys, have a great rest of the day. Have a great weekend. I'll be in New Orleans tomorrow and Saturday covering some state championship games. So will not be available till then. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining in, and we will see you all tomorrow.